I think everything just came crashing down at once.
Over the last couple of years, Gary and Kristina Shirley have basically become heroes in Amber Portwood's storyline, but they haven't always acted so honorably. In fact, they actually started their relationship in a shady, unexpected way. Listen closely because this story is absolutely shocking. Gary and Amber tried for so long to make their romance work after becoming parents to their daughter Leah, but after many chaotic fights and attempts to get along, it became clear that they just weren't happy or healthy together. At the beginning of 2013, Gary finally moved on with someone new, but almost a year after he started dating Kristina Anderson, he made an outrageous discovery. It turns out that Kristina was actually married when she got into a relationship with Gary. She'd been cheating on her husband, Gregory Anderson, for 9 months, but when it came to his involvement in the affair, Gary had been totally clueless. Gary was furious when he found out the truth, which he exposed on Twitter at the end of 2013. He had apparently given Kristina a promise ring after dating for almost a year, and that was when she finally came clean. Gary had been under the impression that Kristina was already separated from her husband when their relationship began. He claimed that Kristina had even told him that she had initiated the separation, but what actually happened was truly unreal. According to Starcasm, an inside source claimed that Kristina was cheating on her husband without a doubt. Gregory supposedly had no idea there were any issues in his and Kristina's marriage, which makes her infidelity seem even crazier. Allegedly, Kristina and Gregory were fully together and seemed happily married when she started dating Gary. Unsurprisingly, Kristina's unfaithfulness sparked an unbelievable amount of drama. When Gregory filed for divorce from his then-wife, she had already been in a secret romance for about a year. After filing in February 2014, Gregory's split from Kristina was finalized that April, but their legal issues were far from over. In July 2014, Gregory filed for a restraining order against Kristina. According to Radar Online, he had accused his ex-wife of potentially harming their daughter, but the full reason isn't what you might think. The restraining order's official court documents revealed the truth behind Gregory's decision. He wanted to legally prevent Kristina from allowing MTV to film their daughter Carly, who was 7 years old at the time. What happened next was honestly insane. Before the scheduled hearing to go over the restraining order took place, Gregory and Kristina settled their issues without the court's involvement, and when they reached an argument for custody of Carly, Gregory was able to legally include a very specific condition. The custody order states that Gregory and Kristina's daughter can't be in the public eye at all. That means she can't be shown on social media or on MTV, and apparently, those guidelines are extremely strict. Gregory was listed as the primary residence for Carly, but the custody order explains that he shares joint custody with Kristina. However, if Kristina were to violate the order by allowing Carly to be on social media or TV, Gregory would be granted primary custody. It's understandable that Kristina's infidelity caused some major problems with Gregory, but her cheating also created issues in her relationship with Gary that were seriously messy. Gary obviously wasn't happy when he found out about Kristina cheating on her husband with him, but just a month after his Twitter rant, he made his true feelings very clear. Interestingly enough, Gary posted on Facebook in January 2014 that he was cuddling with his love. He'd been referring to Kristina, so they'd apparently managed to work through things somehow. During a June 2015 Teen Mom special with Dr. Drew Pinsky, Gary revealed that it was true that Kristina had been seeing him while she was married. He admitted that the situation had led to problems that he'd never expected. Gary didn't speak about the extent of their troubles too much though. That's probably because he and Kristina had just welcomed their daughter Emily to the world. And just a few months later, they took their commitment to the next level. Gary and Kristina got married in September 2015, and they really don't talk about the shady start of their relationship very much until a few years later. During another special with Dr. Drew that was filmed in 2018, Gary and Kristina finally addressed everything. Amber had been trashing them online and calling them terrible names. She was clearly upset with Gary and Kristina, but her reason was pretty ridiculous. In season 7 of Teen Mom OG, Gary and Kristina confessed that they were frustrated with Amber not making the time and effort to see Leah. Once the episodes aired, Amber was absolutely furious. Amber looked like an absent mom that season, but to be fair, she really wasn't there for Leah, but she put the blame on Gary and Kristina and tried to use their history of cheating against them. Amber called Kristina a homewrecker for how she started dating Gary, but that wasn't all. She also accused Gary of cheating on Kristina with her and made so many other bizarre claims. At that point, Gary and Kristina had had enough, and they took matters into their own hands. Kristina publicly shared her custody order and divorce documents online to shut down Amber's allegations that she had lost custody of Carly. And when she and Gary appeared for their segment on the Checkup special with Dr. Drew, neither of them held anything back. Kristina admitted that she had been unfaithful to Gregory. Gary revealed that they never intended to be hurtful to anyone, but they just couldn't stop their true love for each other. I guess that's one way to explain the cheating situation, but what happened after that was incredibly crazy. Eventually, Gary, Kristina, and Amber managed to smooth things over, and despite Amber still being in and out of Leah's life, she had a ton of help and encouragement from both Gary and Kristina. Even when she was in serious legal trouble, Gary's support was unbelievable. In 2018, Amber and her then fiance, Andrew Glennon, welcomed their son, James. They'd been in California for a while, which was pretty far from where Gary and Kristina lived in Indiana, but still, they showed their support for Amber in a totally astonishing way. Gary, Kristina, Emily, and Leah all made the trip to California to meet baby James. During the visit, Amber, Kristina, and Leah even went out to eat and get pedicures together. As strange as it seemed from the outside, all of them honestly seemed like a big, happy family. Gary and Kristina had repeatedly forgiven Amber for lashing out against them multiple times. Everything appeared to be better than ever, so what happened next was a complete shock. In 2019, Amber was arrested for allegedly physically harming Andrew while he was holding James. She and Andrew ended up in a brutal custody battle, but Gary was still in her corner. Gary even drove Amber to court for her custody case and testified in support of her. And that was just one of the countless times that he's proven that he's always going to be there for Amber. Even though Amber has slammed Gary and Kristina so many times that I've lost track, they've been constantly rooting for her because of Leah. For at least the last 5 years, Gary has talked about the importance of being a father first. Apparently, that's why his and Kristina's co-parenting relationship with Amber is sometimes extremely unconventional. Gary seems determined to make sure that Amber is stable and fit to be a present mom for Leah. And fortunately for him, Kristina has a lot of trust and faith in him. But that doesn't mean she's never had her doubts or suspicions. In 2021, season 9 of Teen Mom OG brought up some weird situations in Amber's storyline. Gary and Kristina had been talking about helping Amber buy a modular home and even letting her live on their property. But Kristina wasn't fully convinced it was a good idea. At one point, Kristina mentioned that if Amber actually did live right next to them, there would be expectations set in place. She told Gary that he better not try to sneak out at night to do anything inappropriate with Amber. Gary responded by saying that he wasn't interested in anything romantic with Amber, but a lot of viewers didn't blame Kristina for bringing up the possibility, especially after Amber accused Gary of cheating with her. Some people even speculated that Gary's support for Amber comes from a place of wanting to secretly get back together with her. I'm not sure that's his genuine reason though. We don't know the whole story about what really happened between Gary and Amber while he was already married to Kristina. So for now, it seems like Gary wanting a happy, healthy co-parenting relationship for Leah's sake might be true. Either way, many people have come to a fascinating conclusion. The fact that both Gary and Kristina have made room in their lives for Amber, despite her not regularly being there for Leah, is pretty insane. They've included her in their holiday meals and continuously welcome her into their home. Even when Amber accused Kristina of not actually being there for Leah, she was still quickly forgiven. Obviously, Kristina has been more of a real mom to Leah than Amber has, and Leah has even admitted that herself. But it seems like no matter what, Gary and Kristina have never-ending support for Amber. After Amber finally apologized and thanked Kristina for being a great bonus mom, everything went back to normal again. Honestly, Gary and Kristina being called heroes by Teen Mom viewers seems well-deserved. Without their help and support, who knows if Leah and Amber would even have basic communication, let alone any type of mother-daughter relationship. Gary and Kristina may not have started out their life together in the most honorable way, but they're obviously making up for some of that now. Anyway, what do you guys think about all this? What are your thoughts on the whole dynamic between Amber, Kristina, and Gary? Do you think Gary's level of support for Amber is strange, or does he really just care about Leah's best interests? Let me know in the comments below.